the one, the only Benzion. Good afternoon and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Gittin daf Lamed Gil number 33. I want to explain a line at the very end of today's sugya, which is already on Lamed Aleph and Aleph. The Gemara is a long discussion. It starts in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says on Lamed Beis, the Mishnah says that technically, if you want to mevatel a get, you send the shliach to give a get. You have to either go to the shliach or go to the isha before she gets the get and void it. However, let's say I wanted to go to a beis din, in a different city, or not even go to the shliach or the wife before she gets it. Go in front of a beis din of 3 people and say the get is void, is null and void. Does that work or not? So it used to work. Shlomo says they're masakin that it shouldn't work, or that you're not allowed to do this. Why? The primary reason is because if you avoid it and she doesn't know about it, she's going to get remarried, she's going to think she got the get, it was a valid get, and she's going to have remarry and have mamzerim with because she's still married to the first husband. Now, the halacha is, the machlokas Rebbe and Shmuel, what happens nowadays if you go and do this? You're mevatel in front of a beis din. B'diavad, you're not supposed to do it l'chadchila. Does it work b'diavad? Rebbe says, yeah, it works b'diavad. Shmuel says, it doesn't work. Imkein makoch beis din. For the fact that beis din had the ability to make the takana, don't do it. If we didn't give them the power that works b'diavad also, what power are we giving to beis din? It has to be that not only do they say don't do it, but it has to be also they invalidate it if he does it. So the question is, the Gemara says, how does it work? The Gemara says, afkin rabban la kedusha minay. Rabban mafkia the kedusha. Now, the reason of Rosh Hashanah is Imkei Makoch Beis and Yafa. Now the Gemara is a long discussion. The Gemara on Lamed Gil Beis on the bottom, we find out Rav Nachman's opinion. He says Halacha is Kerebi B'Shtei. Halacha follows Rabbi. Not only the Machlokas is about whether B'Diavad you went ahead and make a get null and void in front of a beis, but also a different Machlokas. Could you mevatel if you said to 10 people to try to get? Could I mevatel in front of a person, one of those 10 people by themselves? Rabbi says again, you could do that. Shmuel says you can't do that. Now, we pass like Rebbe in both of them. The big chiddush is that we pass like Rebbe in the first case, because Rav Nachman himself, by Dinei Mamis, we see on Lamed Aleph and Aleph, holds that by Dinei Mamis, when it comes to dividing up an estate, we say Imkei Malkov Beis and Yafa. And also we saw on Lamed Gil and Beis, when it comes to beis din, when they go ahead and they sell the property of a debtor in order to pay back the creditor, even if it's owned not, Makov Beis and Yafa, even if they did something wrong, it's still a valid sale, even if they undervalued it or they overvalued it. How could that be? Imkei Makov Beis and Yafa. So the Gemara says that the difference is that when it comes to Dinei Mamonis, yes, we say Rav Nachman would agree, which is the halacha, Makov Beis and Yafa, Imkei Makov Beis and Yafa. Right? If we're going to institute something that is the truth, it has to work b'diavad also. By Gittin, which is Heter, we don't say that. Now, why not? The answer is, like as follows. This is what I believe, is that the whole concept by Dinei Mamonis that we can say Imkei Makov Beis and Yafa is because of the concept of the Hefker Beis and Hefker. Hefker Beis and Hefker, we learned in the Gemara in Yevamos, basically means that Beis Din has control of all the property of Klal Yisrael in certain respect. And if they want to go and make someone's property hefker, they could do that anytime they want. They have that power over Dinei Mamonis. Why is that? Because Dinei Mamonis is given over to the courts. It's given over to the court system, right? If I want to go claim that someone was mazik me, or that someone owes me money, I have to go to court. I have to go to beis din to bring edim. I have to go to beis din. You have to go to beis din. So the whole monetary system is based in beis din. However, Isser v'Heter, it's not necessarily based in beis din or on Edom technically, right? They explained in the beginning of the Masechta that really, even though we learn Davar Mimamo and Davar She'er, you need Shtei Edom, and Shtei Edom usually testifying of a beis din. That's only doing l'chadchila. B'diavad, really, Eid Echad is Nema V'Yisurin. Eid Echad is Nema V'Yisurin. Just like Gittin v'Kedushin are Isser v'Heter. Eid Echad M'Dorais is Nema V'Yisurin. We rely on that Chazaka, Isser v'Heter. L'chadchila, we have a Gzera Shava. You're supposed to use Shtei Edom to formalize a Gittin and formalize a Kedushin. If you don't use Shtei Edom, the Gemara Masechtas Kedushin discusses what about 1 Edom Kedushin. The Gemara doesn't really resolve the quandary. But really, I'm telling you over here, this is what I believe, is that technically b'diavad, 1 8 is good for Gittin Kedushin because it's Isser v'Heter. By Isser v'Heter, it's not something which is Mesura l'beis din. 1 8, right, is not Mesura l'beis din. If I want to testify that something is kosher, right? If I make some food in my, if my wife makes chatzilim, she makes a very good eggplant, fried eggplant. She wants to sell it to the market, right? I don't have to get a badatz hechsher because she's trustworthy. I'm trustworthy. She's trustworthy. Even a woman's trustworthy. Eight economic Yisroel. It's not a dina edus. A woman's kosher eight economic Yisroel. Eight economic Yisroel has nothing to do with edus, really. It's just that a reliable person, is believed on kashrus, right? You don't know these fancy hechsherim. They made us crazy, these hechsherim, I'm telling you. That's the way it is. It has nothing to do with Beis Din. It has nothing to do with Eidim, bring Eidim. Normally you need two Eidim to come to a court and testify on your behalf. Dina Isser V'Heter, I'm believed on Dina Isser. I'm believed by my own stuff in Isser V'Heter. It has nothing to do with Beis Din. It's not given over to the court system. So therefore, I give them a Kedushin. We can't say Makoch Beis Din Yafa, because Beis Din, the takana they made, was purely a takana of Isser V'Heter. It was the takana the Rabbanan made, but not through the court system. It's through the rights that Beis Din has make a takana, like the right in Eros Chanukah, to read Mikra Megillah. That was the takana they made. But that's all it was. It was nothing to do with the court system, nothing to do with really Adam, nothing to do with the Beis Din. And therefore, the concept of Makol Beis Jaffa, they have Beis Din has the right to interfere. That's only when it comes to Dinei Mona. This is not when it comes to Isser V'Heter. And even by Gittin Kedushin, we normally say you need Shtei Adam. That's only L'Chadchila, not B'diavad. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.